everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this lovely star stitch chunky blanket using Grande yarn by Red Heart Yarns. This project takes a whopping 21 skeins of yarn. This is so fabulous. It is so heavy. It's even too big to even spread out on my background here. But you can see the photos on my website in the beginning of this video tutorial. All the photos of it nicely spread out, and it is just gorgeous. It is an easy, repeat, almost mindless pattern that we're going to be working with today, so it's a really nice piece here. Now, this piece is, like I said, made with Grande yarn by Red Heart Yarns, and I used a total of 966 yards. So if you want to just get a total of 1,000 yards of yarn, you can, of this chunky yarn. This is a jumbo yarn, size 7. It is giant. It is very thick and so comfortable. It is so lovely and woolly. See, it's a 78% acrylic and 22% wool, so it is very, very warm. And the colors I'm using are oatmeal and teal. So you can see those are the two colors. I will have all of this information in the description of this video on YouTube, as well as on my pattern on my website, YARNutopia.com. So make sure you check out all the links in the description of this video where you can get these yarns and purchase anything you need to for the supplies. The size hook we are using is a 10mm size hook, which is an N hook. So this is something I just got at the craft store. You can get a 10mm hook, but this pattern is so versatile. You can use any size hook, any type of yarn. You do not have to just use the chunky yarn. This pattern is a repeat pattern. You can use it for any size you need. Now, this specific blanket I'm going to teach you today is between a baby and a throw blanket. It's a little bigger than a baby blanket, but smaller than a throw blanket. It's about 40 inches by 55 inches, so that's how big this blanket is. I will put in the notes section of my website all the supplies you're going to need, as well as a link to where you can get different size blankets, so the measurements, because this basically goes off of measurements instead of counts. This pattern is in the multiple of 2 and then +1, and I will explain that when we get into making this piece. So those are, and then you're going to need a scissor and a yarn needle as well to cut yarn and sew in ends and things like that. So those are handy tools to use in this project. Now, before we begin, like I had said, there are links in the description of this video, so make sure you check out my Facebook and Instagram, follow me on Snapchat, and snap me photos of your crochet projects, whether it's this or something else you're making. I'd love to see your snaps. And also follow me on the Facebook and Instagram and share your photos and hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your beautiful work on there. And I think this blanket is just going to look so fabulous in my new home. So thank you to those who are following me on Facebook and all the wonderful wishes. I really appreciate them. Last thing, I have to say a huge thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He's our videographer, editor, and photographer for every single one of our videos at YARNutopia.com. So make sure you check out our website, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and smash that like button. If you learned something today, make sure to check out the rest of our videos on our channel. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Let's just get started and make this beautiful star stitch chunky blanket. Alright, so I just chained 75, so it's a very, very long chain. You should have something that looks like this. Mine measures 54 inches across here, so you can measure yours, make yours bigger or smaller if you need to. Just remember multiples of 2 and then add another chain at the end there. So now what we're going to do is, for row 1, start with the star stitch. So what we're going to do, I'm going to work on these back ridges here. You see me turn my chain toward me and you see these back ridges right here. I'm going to work into those just to make my edge nice and clean. Also, we are going to start in the second chain from the hook. So the loop on the hook does not count as a chain. This is counted as our first chain here, and then this is our second chain. So what we're going to do is go into that chain and then yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay? We're going to do this in each chain until we have 6 loops on our hook. So there's 2 on our hook right now. Go into the next chain, yarn over and pull through and pull up a little bit. There's 3 loops on the hook. This next one is 4, then 5, and the next chain is 6. Okay, so we have 6 loops on the hook, just like that. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 6 of those loops. Okay, just like that. So that kind of turns a corner here, just like this, and it makes the corner, bottom corner of our blanket here. Now we're going to chain 1 to kind of close up this area, so yarn over and pull through, just like that. And now what we're going to do is continue on making our star stitches. So this is our star stitch right here. So to make the next one and subsequently the rest on this row, we are going to start in this little chain 1 eye here. It's called the eye of the star stitch. So right down in here, we're going to insert our hook right in there, then yarn over and pull through and pull up a loop. So there's 2 loops on the hook. Now you can see your loops here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This 6th one right here, we're going to turn this toward us and look in the back here, and you can see that loop right there. Starts here, goes in and around right here. Okay, we're going to go through that loop in the back, just through the back. Okay, so go right in there. Okay, and then yarn over and pull up that loop, just like that. Now we're going to go in the very last chain that last loop was pulled up through. Okay, so you can see that down here on our foundation chain right here. We're going to go into there. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through that. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. And now we're going to go into each of the next 2 chains with a pulling up a loop here. So go in, yarn over, and then pull that through and pull up. And the next chain on our foundation. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull up. So now we have 6 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 6 of those loops. Alright, like that. Oops, I lost a little ply there. There we go. Awesome. And then just chain 1 to finish off that star stitch. So yarn over and pull through. And there's our second star stitch. Looks great. So now we're just going to continue working that stitch that we just made, repeating that all the way across this foundation here. So go into the eye of this chain 1 here, right in there, then yarn over and pull through. Then go down to this last loop here. You can see loop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This last loop here, you can turn this to the back and see that loop right in there. Just go in, yarn over, and pull that through and pull up. And then the last chain that last loop was worked into, right in here, go in, yarn over, pull through, pull up, and each of these next 2 chains, go in, yarn over, pull through, and the next chain, yarn over, pull through. So you should have 6 loops on the hook now, yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, and then chain 1. And just repeat that all the way across. You should have 1 chain left at the end of this row. I'm going to continue with making these star stitches all the way across. Here, I think I lost a loop here. Whoopsie. 1, 2, yeah, you have to count, make sure you have 6 here. 1, 2, 3, here's 4, 5, and 6, and then yarn over and pull through all 6 of those, and then chain 1. There we go, just like that. So just continue working those all the way across. Like I said, you should have 1 chain left. I'll show you what to do at the end of this row, and then we'll be able to go on to row 2. Alright, just finishing my last star stitch here. You should have 1 chain left. If you don't have any chains left, you can put your last stitch in the same last chain of your last star stitch here. So I'm going to just chain 1 to finish off that star stitch. And if you don't have any chains left, you can half double crochet into that same chain back there. But if you do have 1 chain left, we're going to yarn over and go into that chain. Okay, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Okay, that's a half double crochet. So that we want to end each star stitch row with a half double crochet. Okay, now we're going to chain up 1, so yarn over and pull through 1. We're going to turn our work around this way. Okay, this is considered the back of your work here. Our single crochet rows, repeats of row 2 are going to be the back of your work. Repeats of row, actually it's going to be row 3, I'll show you how to do that. Our star stitch rows are going to be our odd number rows, and our even number rows are going to be on the back there. So we are going to do single crochet row. Row 2 is a repeat row. We are going to single crochet. So as you can see, we chained up 1, and now we are going to single crochet into this half double crochet stitch. So go right into there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. The next stitch is going to go into the eye of this star stitch right here. So you can see the back of this star stitch here, and there's the eye of it right there. We're going to put a single crochet into there. Okay, now the rest of these single crochets on this row are going to just be in the eye of the star stitch. So you can see here is our chain 1 stitch right here. Okay, we're not going to work in that. We're going to work into, actually this is part of the next star stitch, actually it's not our chain 1, sorry. We're going to work into the eye of the star stitch, and we're going to put 2 single crochets in each eye of the rest of this row here. So go into this star stitch right here and put 2 single crochets. So single crochet is just going in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that is a single crochet. So we put 2 in there, then hop to the next star stitch. You can kind of stretch this out to see, and it kind of opens up for you right there. We're going to put 2 single crochets in there. So 1 and 2. Okay, and then just hop to the next right here and put 2 single crochets. So we're putting 2 single crochets in each eye, except in the beginning here we put 1 in the half double crochet and then 1 in the eye of the first star stitch there. But then the rest of these get 2 in each of the eyes. Okay, so I'm just going to do that all the way across. I'll meet you up at the end because the end is a little tricky, putting a single crochet in a turning chain actually, which I'll show you how to do, and then we'll go on to row 3. Alright, so I put 2 single crochets into this last star stitch in the eye of there, right there. So now you can see that there's part of the star stitch, and then there's this turning chain right here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is the top right here. We are just going to put 1 single crochet ending row 2 here. So in this loop and this loop right here, we're just going to go in, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that end just gets 1 single crochet in that very ending churning chain there. So now going on to row 3, we're going to chain up 2, 1 and 2. This is a repeat row as well. So chain up 2, turn your work around. Look at the front of our work. It looks so fabulous already. I can't wait to see the full blanket like this. Oh, it's going to be awesome. So now we are going to work in just like how we worked row 1, you know, the second chain from the hook that's right here. Okay, you can see chain 1 and 2, the second chain right here. We're going to go into this front loop right here. Okay, just on the side of it, just go through there, then yarn over and pull through. Okay, we have 2 loops on the hook. We're doing a star stitch row because this is an odd number row. And now you can see back here, I'm going to try to move this strand here. Back behind the chain, right here is another loop. So it's the front loop of the chain, the second chain from the hook, and the back loop right here. We're going to also go in there. And then yarn over, pull through, just like that. So we have 3 loops on the hook. Now we're going to go in each of the next 3 stitches. So this first stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and the next stitch. So there's 6 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 6 of those loops. And then you can see that it kind of just turns upward and makes a nice straight edge right there. And then chain 1 to finish off that star stitch. And now we can repeat what we kind of did for row 1 here. Let's go in the eye of this star stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, then go to the back loop of this last loop here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. The back of it is right here. There we go. So go into that loop, then yarn over and pull through. And then we're going to go in the stitch that the last loop is worked into, so right into this stitch. You can see the last loop is worked into there, so yarn over and pull through into there. So there's 4, and then each of the next 2 stitches here, 1 and 2. So now you can count 6 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 6 loops. And then chain 1 to finish that star stitch, just like that. Fabulous! So now we're going to just do that for the rest of this row. Just do star stitches. So eye of the star stitch, then the back loop of the last loop of that star stitch, then the last stitch that star stitched is worked into, and then each of the next 2 stitches. Then yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, and then chain 1. And repeat. So do that all the way across. I'll meet you up at the end of row 3. I'll show you how to finish row 3 and then we'll go on to row 4. Alright, so I'm in the middle of row 3 right now, but I'm about to run out of yarn. So I want to show you how to change to a new yarn. So I'm just going to, continue like I am, making my star stitches, just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And instead of, yarning over, if you ran out of yarn sooner, like if you ran out of yarn in the middle of a star stitch, let's say like you have 4 loops on your hook and you run out of yarn, you can go into the next stitch and then just pick up the new yarn. The new yarn skein here, and just pull that through and then just continue working with the new yarn just like that, and then just yarn over and pull through with all of that. If you are just finishing, see, I'm just finishing a star stitch, so I have 4 loops here, here's 5 and 6, and then I can yarn over with the same skein, okay, and chain 1. But now I won't be able to go on because I am very short on this one. I could go in, yarn over, and pull through with the same color or same yarn skein, but at this point I should change. So I'm going to hold that in the back there kind of tightly, and then I'm going to go into this next loop here, the back loop here, and then yarn over and pull through with the new yarn. Okay, you can just see I kind of folded it in half and just pulled it through, and then continuing now with the new yarn. Okay, so I have 6 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through. Okay, so at any point if you run out of yarn, you can start with the new yarn in any stitch and then chain 1 and just continue now with the new yarn. Now in the back here, these are loose. You can tie these in a once or twice knot. Okay, so I'm just going to do a once knot, and then I'll come back through and take my yarn needle. Let me grab my yarn needle here. Okay, I'm just going to show you this real quick so I don't have to show you later. We're just going to yarn the needle with this short strand. We'll do this with both of them. I'm just going to show you one though. We're just going to go underneath these stitches just to hide it. Oops. Just like that. Okay, and then you can just cut any extra you have there and then just sew in this one as well. But then you can just continue on working with the new yarn, okay, same color, just in the middle of a row. I ran out of yarn. So we're just going to continue now with the new yarn skein and complete this row. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll meet you up at the end of row 3 and we can finally go on to row 4. Alright, I just have this 1 star stitch left. You should see there's 2 stitches left here, 1, 2. We are going to make our last star stitch for row 3 finishing using those 2 stitches, but like I said, for row 1 we have to end our odd numbered rows with a half double crochet. So I don't know if you can see it very well, but right here there is a stitch. It's our turning chain stitch right there. So we are going to work a half double crochet in there. So yarn over, and it's going to be quite tough every time because this is just a chain. So you have to kind of push it onto your hook like that, then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, okay, for a half double crochet. So our odd rows all end in a half double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, and now what I need you to do is just rewind this and repeat rows 2 and 3 for as long as you want your blanket to be. Like I said, you can make this in many different sizes, and I have the link in the notes section on my website. So now row 4 is a single crochet row. So just remember, single crochet in the first stitch and in the first star stitch eye, and then 2 single crochets in each eye. But like I was saying, there is in the notes section on my pattern, on the written pattern on my website, different sizes of blankets that you can make, what measurements they are, so you can make as many rows as you want to. Now this blanket should end on a repeat of row 2 row, so a single crochet row you should end your piece on. So I'm just going to continue repeating now rows 2 and rows 3 until my piece is finished. And at one point I am going to show you, actually I'm going to come back, I'm going to make a bunch of rows until I'm satisfied, until I make my last color change, because I'm going to change color in this quite often. So I'm going to change color, make this as big as I need to be, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to change color at the end of a section. So I'm going to do 10 rows of this. So I'm on row 4 right now, and I'm going to do 10 rows total. You can see the front here just looks so fabulous with that star stitch look. It just looks really cool. So I'm going to do 10 rows of this color teal, and then I'm going to come back and teach you how to change color at the end of a row, and we'll go on to working with oatmeal, and then we'll just alternate every 10 rows, teal, oatmeal, and so on. So I'm going to alternate those colors in this pattern, but you can keep it a solid color, you can change color more frequently, maybe every 5 rows or maybe every 2 rows. It's totally up to you. And like I said though, I'm going to change color every 10 rows, so I'm going to make my blanket, and when I'm making my last color change, I will come back and show you how to change color at the end of a row after, a repeat of row 2. You want to end every section on a single crochet row, and we're out of focus, there we go. So we just are going to repeat rows 2 and 3 for however long you need to. I'll come back and show you how to change color real soon after I do a bunch of rows, and then I'll let you know how many rows in total I did, and we will finish up this blanket. So good luck! Alright, welcome back. It's like crazy that this took so long, and this piece is so heavy. After about 18 skeins of yarn, this is where I'm at. You can see that I changed color every 10 rows here. So this is the oatmeal color, and there's the teal color. So I did rows 1 to 10 here, then 11 to 20 here, okay, and then 21 to 30. And so on. So we did 10 rows of each color. This is just super fabulous. Wow. So now I'm ready to change color to my last section. So I did, let's see here, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 rows so far, and I'm going to do 70 in total. But like I said, you can make yours as big or small as you want. So I just ended on a repeat of row 2. So we have our single crochet row right here, and we are going to do a color change now. Okay, so like you're going into this last stitch, this turning chain stitch, to make your last single crochet, just like I showed you in row 2. We're going to yarn over with the same color, so yarn over and pull through, okay, just like that. But now I'm going to change color back to teal. And we're just going to fold that in half like that and just hook that on our hook and then pull it through those 2 loops to finish off that last single crochet stitch. Okay, just like that. Then pull your strands tight and then chain up 2, 1 and 2 to go on to our next row, which is a repeat of row 3. So let's turn our work around and then we're going to just continue working the star stitch row then. Working this first loop into the second chain from the hook and in the back loop of that same chain, and then each of the next 3 stitches. But as you can see, it is loosening up right here, so we have to take care of that. So let me finish off this stitch and I'll show you how to tie that off. Let's chain 1. I'm going to pull this up real quick. We're going to take these 2 strands, these loose ends now, okay? We have to get rid of the oatmeal color, so I'm going to grab my scissors real quick here. And we're going to cut these about the same size. Be careful with your scissor. And then we're going to tie those in a, you can tie it in a 1 or 2 knot. I'm just going to tie it in a 1 knot, pretty tight there, just like that. And then I'll just sew those in, just like I showed you earlier. Going to grab my yarn needle and I'm going to sew in the oatmeal into the oatmeal color, and then I'll sew in the teal color with the teal color. But this doesn't apply, you know, if you're not changing color in this project at all. You don't have to, you know, worry about sewing in any of these ends. Okay, so just going to sew it in underneath there and then cut any extra that you may have, just like that. Okay, so I'm just going to sew in this end later, but now I'm just going to continue working the repeats of rows 2 and 3, and this blanket is so heavy. This is going to be the heaviest, most warmest blanket I've ever owned. It's going to be so amazing. I'm super excited about it. So now we're just going to go into work mode of repeating rows 2 and 3. So I'm doing a repeat of row 3 right now. And then next will be a repeat of row 2, and I'm on my last color, so I'm going to do 10 more rows here, and then I will meet you up when we're about to fasten off and we can enjoy our lovely blanket. Alright, just finishing up here, and now to fasten off we're just going to chain 1 and then we can cut our yarn and then pull it through that chain 1 there and then pull tight, and then grab our yarn needle wherever that went, because I keep losing it. There we go. These yarn needles just keep getting lost. Anyway, we just want to sew in all the rest of our ends. If you have any loose ends, this is the time to sew them all in and underneath your stitches, and then you can enjoy this blanket. So I ended up doing 70 rows total from beginning to end, 70 rows. I changed color every 10 rows, and that is in my written pattern. You can see it on my website, YARNutopia.com. But there it is. This is such a lovely blanket. I'm so happy. It's so heavy, by the way. So you can definitely get all cozied up and warm on the couch, watch some Netflix. So there it is. It's so big for my background, I can't even spread it all out for you, but I love the color combination. So big thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for sponsoring this video, and big thank you to you every single day for watching and learning how to make these wonderful crochet projects. Until next time, happy hooking!